Are you interested in innovative education and diversity in school models? Do you see a need for something different to bring about a reformation in our current education system? If so, then you've come to the right place. Join us as we discuss what's trending with unconventional learning models, including microschools, homeschool co-ops, creative learning centers, hybrid school models, and so much more. I am your host, Delina Wallace, president and founder of Wichita Innovative Schools and Educators, also known as WISE. This podcast, WISE and Otherwise, explores what our local hub of education entrepreneurs are doing in Wichita. We will also explore and offer brief introductions to the many local and national organizations that support innovation in education. Welcome to WISE and Otherwise. Okay, hi, I have Kim Stringer with me today. Kimberly is with Kreative Kids Faith Academy in Wichita, Kansas, and we've known each other here about 3 years, I think it's been. Kim, thank you so much for being on this show. I call it a show, the podcast. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So let's tell everybody just a little bit about how we met and just the connection that we have. And just, I would love to learn more about your school and the history of your school and your story about why you decided to get into this innovative education space. So first of all, what I remember about us meeting would just be that I called you up. I just called you up one day.
Out of the
I
blue.
found you. Yeah. I learned about the other VELA grant recipients in the Wichita area and thought, I just want to connect and I want to see who's doing what. I want to see their space. I want to learn from them and just kind of hear your story. So I came and visited your school. And it was amazing. So at that time, your school was still in your home.
Yes.
And outdoor based, nature based, beautiful space. I could just see right away like your love for the children and your passion for your work. So yeah, tell me a little bit about from the moment that we met and then just kind of how you've been doing the past few years. And then I'll also ask you a little bit more of your background after that.
Okay. So I have been an early childhood educator for 38 years, and that's what my degree is in. And my passion has always been for that early childhood and just to get a hold of them as they're young. I do have a great passion for outside. And so I don't know if I'm the only one. I don't think I am anymore, but I was the only outdoor classroom school in Wichita for a really long time. And I keep hoping that the more podcasts that we can do, or the more that we can get the word out, that more and more schools will adopt this kind of a plan, because it just simply works. You know, we're outside about 80% of our day. And like today, we were outside almost 7.5 hours today. So we just bring the work outside. And I have done this for 38 years. And I was working for a couple people in the very beginning when I first got my degree. And I just did not like that. It just was not a good fit for me. I definitely believe on teaching every child on their level. And so every child has their own curriculum. We literally have a notebook for every single different whatever level that they're on. And so even if they're 3 years old or 5 years old or 7 years old, they do not have the same curriculum. It's whatever level they are. And we want to master before we move. So we do not move on until we have mastered that certain thing. So they might be in 5th grade English, but 3rd grade math. So whatever it is, that's what we teach on. And so that has been the hardest thing, is because we do want to make sure that every single child is taught on their level. And it's kind of trying to find what level they're on has been my longest, thing that I've had to work with. But for the most part, it is just absolutely incredible. Being outside all of the time is just phenomenal. And what had happened is during COVID, during those 2 years, we had 0 cases of COVID in our whole school. And we ran about 44 people that were running through here every day, including the parents. And so we were getting a lot of phone calls wondering what's going on here. How come you're not getting any cases? And the only thing we could attribute that to was the fact that we eat apples every day. So we go through about 9 to 12 bags a week of apples. And we clean them very, very well with our all natural cleaners and stuff. And so they eat apples in the morning for breakfast and kind of mid-morning snack also, and then in the afternoon. So we have
Wow.
lots and lots of apple eating with carrots and lots of vegetables that we grow ourselves. And then also we're outside all the time. And so the only thing we could attribute that to was the no cases, that we were outside all the time. So we kept getting more and more phone calls, people wanting to come and join our school because of this. Well, we thought, well, maybe we go ahead and buy a bigger school. And we did. We found an incredible, beautiful, beautiful space, a 5,600 square foot, beautiful building that we love so much. And we spent about 9 months trying to get it licensed with the state of Kansas, because anytime you have children under the age of 4, you have to be licensed. And that was our biggest, it was such a challenge. It was so challenging with the fire department, the state fire marshal, and just the state of Kansas themselves with the KDHE. And so we finally got that licensed, and we were over there for about a year, a little bit over a year and a half. And we just did not realize how much energy that was going to expel from us, going from a double car garage with our small, it's a backyard and it's plenty of space for us here, but going to a 5,600 square foot building just wiped me out big time. And I kept asking for help from the parents, and they were so busy with their own lives that they just simply could not. And so I just could not sustain, 7 days a week of working there, and did that for almost 2 years, about a year and 9 months, and finally decided we were going to go ahead and sell that and move back home. So we are now back home. And we're actually very, very happy to be back home.
Yeah.
Dropping our numbers. We love the smaller numbers. So I actually have the school age children down in my basement. So we were able to open up that space where I did not have that before. So I have the entire basement for my school age. We are going to put in a restroom downstairs so that it is a totally separate space. When we do split, we are kind of like a one-room schoolhouse. So we like to engage all of the children with all of the different ages. But when there is time that we need to split to do projects, we're working on all of the books of the Bible in the States right now. And so we are splitting for the school age classroom. But when we're outside, we're all outside together. And then we're also getting ready to put in a complete black wrought iron fencing around the entire property so that the kids can utilize the whole entire front and backyard. So we're very excited about that. Just revamping the whole yard. We were in a garden tour about 6 years ago with the Sedgwick County Garden Tour and the 4-H garden tour, and we had so much fun. We had almost 1,000 people go through our yard because they'd never seen a school classroom set up like this. So we're revamping everything to kind of go back into that type of a feel where there's different centers set up everywhere and just beautiful with lots and lots of flowers. And the kids don't want to move. We had considered possibly finding another space that was maybe half that size, just so I could live in my own home and have that separate from my school. But the children don't want to move. They simply do not want to move. They want to stay right here. And so we thought, we are a 501c3 school, and we want to offer to everybody a free or greatly, greatly reduced education, because I believe that money is the number one stress for families, and I'm trying to take that away from them. So like if they wanted to come in and help with the yard, they got half off tuition or 75% off that week. Or if they want to do the grocery shopping that week and I give them the list and the money, they get 50% off of tuition or whatever. So we want to do kind of, that is what we're thinking. And if I go and purchase another building, that doesn't make sense. Our overhead is going to be coming into their scholarship funds. And so we've decided we're going to go ahead and stay put right here, and we're just going to make it absolutely beautiful. So that's where we're at.
Beautiful. It is. I've seen both of your locations. But I have to say there's something about the in-home school experience, it's just beautiful and comfortable for kids. And you've got such a natural space, that indoor and outdoor. And I love, if we can go back to a little bit, I love how many accommodations you make for each individual student. It is just mind-boggling to me. It blows me away that you're able to do a truly individualized curriculum for each student. I know that takes a lot of time. I know that I think you've shared with us before in our WISE group that you will take a whole week and you will just devote all the time to doing that. So tell me a little bit about what that looks like, a little bit more. They have their own notebooks. I've seen them on the shelf, and they each have their own name. So tell me about that. And then I'd also love to see like a little rundown of your typical day.
Okay.
What's it look like there?
So we also teach Spanish and sign language here. And so my co-teacher, Edna, she teaches all of the Spanish, and then I do all of the sign language. We also are faith-based. That is so important to us. And so every single thing we do, we start our day with prayer. The kids learn Bible verses according to every letter that we are on. So like right now, this week was letter Q. And so they know every single Bible verse from last year's 26 letters and all the way up to letter Q this year. So these are 3-year-olds all the way through 3rd grade, and we're already at 38 or 39 Bible verses just using song and sign language. So I use a lot of that and movement for them to be able to do that. We do have some special needs children that have some learning disabilities, so we're able to meet their needs also. And I think that's because we are so small and that one-on-one attention with them. It takes me a good solid week to get their curriculum together. Because of teaching 38 years, I have a lot of resources. And so I have to kind of get to know those children. That first week of school is when I'm kind of getting to know them and bringing out a few samples of things and find out if they are auditory or if they are tactile learners, or, do they learn by sight, or do they learn, different ways like that. And so I try to incorporate that first semester. I try to use every sense I can. And so many children have a lot of hard time with sensory, different things like that. So we make sure outside, when they're outside, that there is cement, there is sand, there is mud, there is water, there is fake grass, there's real grass, there's mulch, there is every single sensory thing you can possibly get your hands on, just because that grounds them. And then we do allow the kids to go barefooted. We have places, they have their own water bottles, but they also have a place to put their shoes. So if they want to be barefoot all day long, they can be barefoot all day long. And yeah.
Man,
and
the Wallace family would fit in very well there. My kids never have their shoes on.
Yes, and I don't either. So I'm the worst example of shoes. And so we're a messy school. I allow the kids. My biggest philosophy is that it's cleanable. And if it's not, you shouldn't be having it anyway. So we're very, very big on that. Very big on of course, the outside, and just very, very messy, and just allowing the children just to explore. We believe that the children have to engage in our world every day. They have to go by our schedules every day. And so we have created a world for them. This is their world. They get to, if they want to take their flashcards, or they want to take their book over to the table or in the pergola, or they want to go sit on the swing, or they want to sit on a hammock, or if they want to go play with the bugs over underneath. We have one little guy, he keeps saying he's going to be an entomologist, and he's 4. And so he wants to flip up every single rock that's in the front yard and find all those bugs, and last week he caught a little wood roach off of the tree, and Miss Edna cannot do bugs or anything, and so he's, Mrs. Kim, I feel so sad for people that don't get to play with roaches. And they're kids. They get to be kids. We are a no technology school, so we do not have any technology. Every once in a while, if the kids ask a question that I don't know the answer to, we will Google something on my phone. But other than that, we don't do any technology whatsoever. We believe they can get enough of that at home, and we're kind of like a little house on the prairie,
Yeah. So what does the typical day look like when kids arrive? And then when do you do kind of the sit down book work? And then how much of it, I know they're outside even when they're doing their book work,
Yes,
but how much of it do they have freedom to just go and play? And then when do you redirect them and say, okay, but let's work on some math, that sort of thing?
So we have a lot of freedom here. Like this week, I decided let's get some caught up on some of those major, like the math facts and the flip card. I really do like flashcards. I know a lot of people do not like them, but I love flashcards, and I believe that all of my kids have been so successful with doing it this way. And so like this week, lots of free time. And then I will pull the kid right when they walk in. They come in for breakfast. We always serve breakfast. So there's always breakfast available for those kids. And then about 2 hours later, they have a mid-morning snack. Of course, it's always apples. And then lunch is at noon. And then about 12:45 by the time, and we all do that sitting down together as a family style. So we have dinner or lunch together, because we don't know what their evenings look like and how rushed their evenings are. We don't know what kind of junk food they're eating. And so we want to make sure that we feel so good about them eating 2 great meals a day and 2 snacks a day. And very seldom do they get sugar unless it's a birthday party or celebrating a holiday or something like that. And then after breakfast, for about, when they walk in, they're eating breakfast, there's about 3 papers that are sitting at the table. We're really big on fine motor, and I'm really, really big on handwriting. And so we start teaching our kids cursive at kindergarten. And so there's always 3 papers at the table according to whatever letter they're doing. Today, they got to paint some quilts and cut out some quails to put on their quilts. And then they also had a letter writing paper with Q and quarters on it, different things like that. So there's a paper that they do as everybody comes in at different times. By 9 o'clock, everyone is here. Once everyone is here, it's cleanup time. And then I do the circle time for all the children together because I'm very, very energetic. For about 45 minutes, they learn the days of the week, the months of the year in sign language, in Spanish, in English, by song, by sign language. We do the continents. We go through the letter of the week, the Bible verse, anything that I want to introduce, I introduce it to everybody. Well, then we break away. So by about 9:45, they're grabbing their waters and going to the restroom. And then I'm downstairs by 10 a.m. in the morning or outside. It depends on where the kids are wanting to go according to the weather. So then I go downstairs. And so for 2 solid hours, I am with my school age kids. So I'm introducing them to some different concepts, doing history, doing Bible, doing states, doing different things like that. And then Mrs. Edna is upstairs with the preschoolers. So we do have a couple hours that we are separated. And then if we need to in the afternoon, we do separate again if we have not finished our work, things like that. Each child has their own packet. So I am always available right there. If they have any questions whatsoever, we do our group activities, but we do our individual too, because they have their own curriculum. So they can ask me questions at any given time. They can do it outside, inside, wherever we want to go. So
it sounds so ideal. Like when I hear you talk about your school, I can't imagine a better place. I mean, I love how you manage to serve even special needs students. So I hear from families all the time, like, do you know of a school, excuse me, that would serve special needs? You provide breakfast and lunch. Would you say that all of the families who attend your school, do they share the same faith values that you do?
So we are so blessed because we are very honest from day one. We say we are a faith-based school and we pray about everything. Today we had a little guy that was wanting to do some trick off of the swing and he fell over and was crying. So immediately all of the children go over and lay hands on him and we start praying for him. So they know, these children know about everything. We start our day by prayer, but if somebody raises their hands during prayer time and says, mommy and daddy got in a fight last night, or I feel sad because my doggy is sick or whatever, we pray about everything. We want them to be so solidly rock solid in their faith more than anything, because we believe we're going to be held accountable. And it's just like that verse, if you ever mislead a child, we're going to be held accountable. And so my number one conviction is to make sure that these children know Jesus. And so that's what we do throughout the entire day. We do have a couple families that are not Christians. We just had one family, a husband and wife, come to Christ, and they said it was all based off of our curriculum and the things that we're doing with the kids and our prayers and what we're doing with our, when we send home newsletters, they get a monthly newsletter also that tells about everything that we're doing and pictures included, things like that. And that was incredible to me, that because of what we are doing here, those children are going home and being witnesses to their own families. Today, we had an instance where we had a grandma, we had to just hold her as she was just weeping because of just the world and the heaviness of everything going on. And so we got to lay hands on her and pray over her. So we just take it very, very honestly. It's pretty crazy. I think as you age, I think in your own faith also, and you grow so much that the embarrassment, when I was younger, I could not see myself doing that. I was kind of scared of what are people going to think, and I think as I have grown in my own faith walk, that it doesn't mean anything. Everything has to be about God, and so I thank God for the families that we have, because they may not share the same belief system, or they may think I'm way over the top, because we do pray about everything. But they don't say it. They love it. They appreciate it. And they don't want their children anywhere else. So
Well, and obviously, I mean, your home is full of kids. And
Yeah.
so families are finding exactly what they need and finding a safe place for their kids. And seems like, what are the alternatives? I
Yeah.
mean, so
Yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing everything that you have. And I appreciate that you're doing this. I think
Oh,
it's
thank you so
amazing.
much.
I hope more people start schools. I hope more people
I do
will,
too.
you
I
know,
keep begging. I beg the families. I said, if you guys cannot afford a private education, I'm begging you to please, please, please homeschool. Get your children
Mhm.
out of the public system. Please, I am begging these families. And so many people, I'm talking to them and I'm like, they say, but what if you retire and then we're not going to have it? I'm said, I'm in a refirement, not retirement, honey. My husband just retired, but I have zero desire to ever retire.
You
So
don't plan on stopping.
no, no.
Now, how do your prices compare with other private schools?
Okay, so we are, from what I've heard, we are very, very reasonable. We are $40 a day, and that includes breakfast, lunch, 2 snacks, full
Mm.
year's curriculum, any extras, all the art projects, anything that we do. So I feel like we're very reasonable. I do. I feel
Mhm.
like I haven't done a whole lot of research, but from what I've heard from other people, we're reasonable. But
Yeah.
I will say that very few people are paying that. We have been given some donations. Anytime I get a donation, then I pass it on to the families.
Mhm.
So like we have our business up for sale, the big building, and we did find out this week we are going to get a contract written up this week. So we've got 2
Yay!
people. We're just waiting now
Awesome.
for the next couple of days.
Oh,
Once
good.
that sale goes through, we are going to gift every single parent a full month of free, and
Oh
that can
my
run about
goodness.
$750 a month. So
Oh
that's
my
going to bless
goodness.
every single one of these
Oh,
families. And we've got about 15 families that are really so, so, so excited about that. So
wow.
that's a lot of money, but that's my goal. And hoping to sell this building to be able to bless some other small micro schools that I know of that I want so
Mhm.
badly to be able to bless. So I keep praying that we're going to get this thing sold
Oh,
finally and be
that's
able to
so
do that.
great.
So,
That
yeah.
is so great. And then I don't think we've talked about, you are in operation, like you're open 4 days a week. Is that
4 days
right?
a week, Monday through Thursday from 8:30 to 4:30. We do have a couple that come a little bit earlier, like at 7:45 until 5,
Okay.
just because before and after school. Yeah.
Sure. And then what ages or what grade levels would you
So
be serving?
our preschool age is full right now, and we are full for the summer, and we're probably full for next year. We might have one
Oh
opening
my
in
goodness.
that class. And then my school age, I have 7 enrolled, and we really want to keep it under 10. I want a 1 to 8 to 9 ratio. So
Mhm.
yeah,
You have pre-K up to what's the highest
fifth
grade
grade,
level?
fifth grade.
Fifth
And then we
grade.
will send them to somebody else because those hormones start flying. Like, no middle school,
Yeah,
no middle
you
school.
have the sweet years.
Yes, I want those.
Well, that's incredible. Well, Kim, let's so as I'm trying to highlight some of the different educators and school founders in the Wichita area, I also just want to give everyone an idea of what our network is like, what our WISE group is, and how it has been supportive in each of our lives and in our schools and our businesses. So I'd love to hear from your perspective what it's been like to be a part of the group, because you've been a part of it from day one.
Yes, I love it so much. I was so blessed that you came by that day. You just blessed my heart so much. Um, your effort that you have done to bring everybody together just as a collaboration has been the most incredible, rewarding thing I think I've ever been a part of. The fact that we share each other's ideas and that I feel like I can glean from other people has been so, so important. Like, I'll look at something that Candace is doing or Molly is doing or you guys are doing or something, and I'm always scoping out there, what did they do this week? Or, um, is it Devin? Yeah. And
Mhm.
so different people like that. And I just want to I want to see so many more schools come together just like this, because we're not in competition. There's something for everybody. And I've sent people over to Candace. I've sent people to other people that just, maybe it's not a good fit. And that's what I love. I think the most of all is that I don't feel this need to compete or to be better than somebody else. I've got my program and somebody else has their program and we all can't reach 500 miles, and so I love the fact that we are like little house on the prairie people just planted all around the prairie, and everybody gets to be reached. And I just love that so much.
Yeah, it's been great. Well, I've so enjoyed getting to know you. We're so blessed to have you in our community. And thank you again for your
You're welcome.
services for the families in Wichita and your encouragement to all of us. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thanks for all your hard work.
Okay.
Thanks.